Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty enthusiast and consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today we are reviewing a product that when I saw it, I said, yes. Patrick Ta's Major Skin Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. So I will be showing you a full day wear test. I'm gonna have this foundation on for almost 8 hours, or at least 8 hours. I'll be showing you application and then how the product looks in various lighting. And then of course sharing with you my thoughts and if I recommend this product for you and who I feel this product works best for. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And let's get right into this video. So yes, we have the Patrick Ta Major Skin, I was about to say Major Dimensions, but Major Skin Cream Foundation and Powder Duo. It does retail for $58 and it comes in a total of 24 shades. It comes with a nice size mirror, and then you've got your cream foundation here, powder product here, and then just like with all of his products, if he's got a cream and powder in the same compact, there's a nice little sleeve to cover the cream. So this is a closer look of what this foundation looks like. I picked up the shade Tan 1. Tan 1 is described as having a golden warm undertone. And I remember when I was trying to figure out a shade, I looked at the model that the foundation was on and I was like, okay, this might be either a little deep for my complexion or maybe a little too warm, but I think this is probably the closest I could get to it. Looking at it in the pan, I do feel like this looks like it does have some warmth to it, but I posted a Reels on Instagram and also here on YouTube showing you all what it looks like on my skin, and I've gotten quite a few comments that are like, that looks a little neutral on you, or like something's off with the color. So I think looking at the shade up close, I do see warmth in it, but I wonder if this is like more olivey. I do see more neutralness in it. I don't see golden warm. Like if looking at this up close, so this is the foundation, this is the powder. For the foundation, I don't see as much golden warm as I see more like olive neutral. Do you guys see that? Here we have swatches of the foundation as well, and then this is a swatch of the powder. The powder is going to have a airy, light, translucent finish to it, and the powder is supposed to obviously perfect the skin. It's going to blur the skin as well. The foundation, he said, is going to be a velvety cream type of formula, and it's going to blur imperfections and conceal pores. He said that the finish is going to be light to medium. It's going to have more of a natural, dewy-like finish. And I will say, you know, he was like, this is more like light to medium type of coverage. But when I was applying this, I was like, this has more coverage than I thought. But at the same time, cream foundations, in my opinion, tend to have more coverage. So when I heard that he was saying it would have light to medium coverage, I was like, I felt like this almost had medium full coverage right out the gate. I did use on one side of my face the Sonyeji Classic Base Brush, and I felt like pressing the product into my skin definitely gave me more coverage. He said if you wanted more light coverage, to swipe the product along your skin and that'll give you a lighter type of coverage. And then on the other side of my face, I went in with Danessa Myricks. This is her velvety sponge. I don't believe it's for sale yet, but I do believe it is coming. So I did dampen the sponge and I applied the product on this side of the face, and I feel like it applied very well into the skin, blended really easily into the skin. And that was one of the claims, that this product would blend seamlessly into the skin. Now, I had some issues with applications. You all might have seen it in the demo. There was so much pilling on my skin. So when I was first applying it on this side with the brush, I was like, okay, maybe it's the brush, like maybe this cream doesn't like brushes, it wants a sponge. I had applied my skincare. I had let my skincare sit on my face for over an hour before I had applied the foundation. So I was like, it can't be that like I applied the foundation too close to finishing my skincare regimen. I did not use a primer. I didn't use anything like that. The last thing that came on my face was the Yummy Glow Serum. So that was the last product that I did put on my face. So I thought maybe it was the brush. when I used the sponge, I had less pilling, but I still had pilling. I was like, what in the world is going on? This is my first time trying the foundation, so I am definitely gonna have to report back to you to tell you if the pilling is because maybe there was a skincare product that I used where the ingredients were still kind of on the skin and it just didn't agree with it, or if it's actually the product. But I love the blend on the skin. It is beautiful, and I feel like the product looks very nice on the skin. It's also claiming to be lightweight and not heavy, and I've had the foundation on now for 4.5 hours, and it still feels lightweight on the skin, so I will give it that. I will also give that it does blend seamlessly into the skin. I just got to figure out the pilling on the skin. It pilled so bad that I was like, oh my gosh, what I do wrong? Like it wasn't, you know, just a little pilling. It was like streaks of pilling. And in one area, you might be able to still see it, like right here, foundation actually came off when I was applying it to the skin. So I'm going to say user error, since this is my first time using it, but I did want to put that out there because if you have this foundation and you've experienced the same, let me know, let us know, because then that would imply that it might be the product and not user error if like multiple of us are having the same experience. However, I really do love the finish on the face. I do think this is really pretty so far. So then I took this in natural lighting. I think this looked really nice on the skin. It definitely is coming off way more dewy than I think it's claiming to come off. Every time I see a cream foundation, I just assume that it's going to be dewy. I almost assume it's gonna be like dewy oily too, and heavy. A lot of cream foundations that I've used have been like that. So I wasn't surprised by the dewiness. I am happy to report that after 4.5 hours of wear, it doesn't feel heavy. But after 4.5 hours of wear, you can definitely see that I got some nice little shine on the face. Took this in outside lighting, and the sun was like kind of at a weird place this morning when I was going outside. So that's why if you see some darkness like on one side of my face, I was trying to get like the best lighting so you could see it in the sun, but it glistens in the sun. It really looks beautiful. But this is definitely a foundation that you're going to want to set. I would dare to say almost no matter what skin type you have. So if you have dry skin, a lot of times with dry skin, I'll say, oh, if you don't like to set things, this might not be the product that you want to set. But I feel like this might be a product that even if you have dry skin, you're going to want to dust something on it because it is quite emollient. And I don't foresee it lasting long on this skin without being set. That's just my assumption off of first impression. Okay, so then I went into dark lighting, did flash photography, no flashback. It looks really beautiful on the skin. So like I said, first impressions, you know, after application, after I got over the pilling, I was like, this is really pretty. It's pretty enough to where I'm like, I want to give this another try. Like, I want to give this another try. And I've tried some foundations before that it just looks so kind of grotesque on the skin that even after the first time, I'm like, no, I don't want to give you another try. This doesn't leave me in that place. Like, I want to give this another try because it really is beautiful. Okay, so going into the powder. So apply the powder. Like I said, this is supposed to be a translucent, airy finishing powder, and so I wanted to see what it looked like applied to the skin first before I, you know, ventured into applying it under the eyes. So I went back in with my sponge and I applied it onto the skin, and I think it applied really nicely onto the skin. However, it did give me more of a mattified finish than I thought it would. But as you can see, after 4 hours of wear, it wasn't so mattified that it, if I could say, like, stopped my natural oils from coming through. I feel like now I definitely don't look as mattified as I did when I first applied it. And if you didn't know, you might not have even have thought I had applied powder. The shade I really do enjoy, so I do think this is a shade that if I wanted to use it under the eyes, I could, or I could use it all over the face because it does have a translucent finish. And I don't feel like I added, you know, any type of color to my complexion, and I don't think the powder deepened the foundation because it had actual color. I didn't put the powder under my eyes because I'm wearing a new concealer. I'm wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I used the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade Medium under the eyes because I didn't want too many new products on the face at one time. So I didn't put this powder under the eyes, but I would put it under the eyes to see, you know, how would it hold my concealer. Off of what I'm seeing on my face, I don't think this would be the best setting powder for concealer, but it is not marketed as a setting powder. It is marketed as a finishing powder. So like I said, with what I see on my face, it doesn't look like I've applied powder. So I feel like you can take that for what you'd like. If you want a powder that's gonna like finish off the skin, but it's not gonna make you look too powdery throughout the day, then I think this finishing powder in this duo is perfect for that. If you would want to use this powder as like a setting powder to kind of like keep the skin looking mattified, this powder, I don't think it's going to do that. Just simply looking at how it looks on my skin after about 4.5 hours of wear. And I have pretty normal skin for the most part. So after 4.5 hours of wear, I will say that I do still see some signs of pilling, like some signs that the foundation is kind of coming off. And I'll come in close and like point out the areas where I'm just like, okay, I don't know. And then, you know, we'll wait to see how things look up at the end of the day. So like right here under my nose, I was putting on eyeshadow and I was like, I had my head tilted up and I was like, what is this? And like part of the foundation has rubbed off here. And I will say my nose was running a little bit, but this was before I had wiped my nose. And when I went to go like wipe my nose in terms of the pilling, like I felt like more of the foundation came off, and I didn't fix it because I wanted to show you all. I feel like right along here, there's some pilling there. There was some pilling around my mouth, but that's pretty much it. I feel like around my acne, it is sitting, I think, pretty nicely around my acne. It's not clinging to it, but I do feel like it blended very nicely over my acne and the texture areas of my face. But I do feel like it's looking really nice on the face. There's just parts of my face where I don't know why the foundation was just kind of acting funny, or, you know, I don't know what was going on, to be honest. So we'll just take a look at everything. In terms of fine lines and wrinkles, I will say this is not settling into fine lines and wrinkles. So I have a nice deep fine line right here, and it did not settle like at all. And I'm very, very shocked, but Patrick Ta did say that this foundation is going to move with the skin. So I will give it that. Like I will say, for the claims that this foundation and powder are given, I do feel like the foundation and the powder are like working in the direction of like supporting the claims, like verifying the claims. Maybe it's just, like I said, me and just having to figure out like what's the best way to apply, use it. You know, I didn't use a primer today. Maybe I should have used a primer. You know, those are questions that I'll be able to answer for you later on. But so far, I think we are looking pretty good. In terms of the shade, for me, I feel like I would work with this shade. I don't know if I would want to go a shade up or a shade down because I don't know undertone wise if that would make a difference. And this is not in store yet, so I'm hoping it comes in store so I can go in and swatch it. But for now, especially with like my body color, because I've gotten some tan over the summer, I do feel like the shade is pretty okay. Like I'm not upset with it. I think I've been able to make it work, and I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna go about my day, finish off my day. I'll come back in another 4 or so hours, wrap this up, and share with you my final thoughts. So, okay, so I've had this foundation on now for at least 8 hours. I would say it's definitely been over 8 hours at this point, maybe like 8.5 hours. So let me go ahead and say this. I was about to say things are looking somewhat the same, but I was filming another video because I'm wearing some other new products on my face, and I got in the mail today the new Charlotte Tilbury powder. So I wanted to show them in action on screen. So I did go ahead and apply both of these powders like right under the eye here and right along here. I didn't dust it all over the face. So like looking on this side of the face, I would say on my chin, and on this side of the face, Riley's in here if you hear her. But I will say from what you saw earlier at the 4.5 hour mark, you definitely saw some radiance, maybe a little dew coming around the center of my face. I do think if you look right around here, I do see some wear of the foundation, like under my mouth around here, or on top of my lip. I should say under my mouth, on top of my lip right here. And I do know that using these powders did help to like smooth my eye area or the skin like right along here. So here are my thoughts. I really do like the initial finish of this foundation. I also like the powder that comes along with it. Like I told you before, and I'm not gonna like beat this into a grave or anything like that, but I definitely do feel like I've gotta play more with this formula, because just off what I see, I don't think that this is going to be the longest lasting formula on the skin just by itself. And it does say in the directions to prime the skin. I didn't prime my skin with like any type of specific primer. So next time I use this, I'm honestly going to mix this with the Balm Powder in the Universal shade. This, I mean, it literally makes every foundation look better. I feel like this foundation does need something to adhere to make it look its best. And maybe that was the error on my side and my part. But you can tell that the foundation has potential because it still looks really pretty, like along the perimeter of my face. And I'm more so concentrating, you know, where I'm looking at here, because I did not disturb this part of my face and my forehead with like anything additional since you last saw me at the 4.5 hour mark. Like I said earlier, I like this enough to where I want to give it another try. So for me, I feel like this is a foundation that is going to definitely be more suited towards people who have drier to normal skin. That is simply because it does have a dewier finish. And if you have more combination oily skin or oily skin, depending on how you like for your overall face to look, this may not be a cream formula that you might want to work with. I'll just say that. I'm not saying you shouldn't give it a try, but you know, like I know my mom, she has very oily skin. She would not want to use a foundation with this formula because it would just make her too dewy, and that's fine. The finishing powder I really, really like. I do feel like, and I'm gonna do it now just so we can see it, I do feel like it's going to look its best with a fluffy brush. So earlier you saw me apply it with a damp sponge. I didn't like re-dampen this sponge, but I had dampened it. And I'm just gonna tap my brush into here. And I feel like this definitely does help to kind of perfect the foundation, so that if I needed to wear this longer today, I could do that. And I will say, this combination of foundation and powder, I do think works well together, because he did say this is going to be like your Monday through Friday foundation and powder duo, and this powder you can definitely use to touch up. And I think just from what we see here, I was able to touch up this foundation quite well. So I think, like, I would say I feel like this foundation powder duo has a lot of potential. I'll say that. Once I figure out why it peeled on my skin, then I'll be able to say, okay, this is what I feel about it. You know, I'm not gonna say don't go out and get it, because like I said, I really do like the finish and I enjoy it. I know some of you all, a good amount of you all, express concerns about the shade range. You weren't impressed with the shade range in the tan to deep complexion range. And I would agree with that. I feel like the majority of the shades, like if you had to split the shades in half, of the 24 shades, there are going to be more shades that cater toward lighter complexions. So hopefully Patrick Todd does go ahead and expand the shade range quickly. I do feel like in terms of the undertones of the foundations that he did choose, I feel like he tried to like hit as many complexions as he could with the shades that he came out with. And I've noticed that when brands come out with less foundation shades, they tend to make things a little more neutral to try to accommodate more complexion shades. And I feel like that's maybe what he did with this initial launch. He's always come out with amazing products. Like the majority of the products that he has, I've tried and I've loved them. So I would definitely still say if you're interested in this product, check it out, because you know, it might be what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a foundation powder on the go, it is quite compact. In comparison to his blush duos in size, here is a nice little comparison for you. So it's not too much bigger than the blush and powder duos. So it is, you know, quite nice to throw into your purse size-wise. So, I mean, I will say, you know, we have some work to do in terms of, I have some work to do to figure out the best way to wear it for my complexion, but I like it enough to where I'm gonna give it another try and definitely update you all, because if you're interested in it and you wanna know suggestions and best ways to use this product, I wanna be able to provide you with that information. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the foundation and powder? Do you like it? Do you not like it? You guys know I want to hear all of that down in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.